Hi, welcome back. My name is Mickey Hughes. This is Over the Edge. It's a podcast about anxiety where I interview comedians and people in the entertainment industry. Matt Santos is here. I was just speaking with Dinesh Anwar. His episode's going to be playing just before yours. I mean, here's a guy. Like we look like we have it together. It's not like everybody says, "Oh, you look good in your pictures." Well, because I never take any pictures of myself when I'm bawling my fucking eyes out. Like it's like that. When was the last time you took a picture of that? So yeah, so we all have our thing. When you said that you wanted to come on the show, I was like, you know what? Come on, like this is what we're talking about. So what's going on with you?
I mean, I feel like just everyone else, I'm stuck in stasis right now. I'm trying to, stay busy. Just, I don't know. I didn't even bother.
What do you do to stay busy?
Nothing.
What does your day look like right now? Like, what do you do during the, like, what do you, and I don't mean like, so what exactly do you do during the day, Matt? I just mean sometimes I wake up and it's 11 o'clock and I'm like, I should get out of bed. And then I'm like, why should I get out of bed?
Yeah, I've had a lot of those days during this, but yeah, it's now it's work, exercise, and then that's really it.
Yeah.
TV, a lot of TV. I did a lot of TV catching up. Stuff I had never watched that, like, I'm one of those people like, I have a film degree and my friends know what I like and they always recommend shows, but I'm such a fucking stubborn asshole that the second someone recommends a show to me, I'm just like, yeah, I'm never watching this.
Yeah, you are a comedian where you can consider yourself a piece of shit because you didn't follow advice to watch a television show.
The second someone tells me to do something, I'm like, I'm not doing that. Fuck you.
Yeah. I like to commit to do it just so I can feel like a failure after for not doing it. I like to throw that extra. You'll do that when you're older. You'll throw in an extra element because
how old do you think I am?
I'm just kidding.
I get a lot of answers when I ask people this.
You're 17 and a half. I don't know. You did Comedian of the North, so I know you were able to fly by yourself. So I don't. I don't know. How old are you?
I'm 30. Will be 30 in like a month.
Oh, that's adorable. Good for you. I'm sorry.
You're like what, 36?
I'm 44. But
you don't look 44.
Oh, well, I got
you look 36.
Thank you. I have 2 good years left. 1.5. I might have 2 good years left.
2 good years. You stretch it out. Do some yoga.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I'd give it all up right now. I don't give a shit. I
can't wait to get to that point where it's like, I no longer feel the need to stay fit. I'm just like, fuck it. Just like give up.
Fantastic. So it's good that you're in comedy.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of other skills.
How has your mental health been, do you feel, since through the last 14 months?
Both some of the worst it's ever been and some of the best. So I have bipolar disorder, bipolar 1, and was just diagnosed last summer after I don't know how many years of psychiatric appointments, therapy.
You want to know what's bullshit? That time between you being okay or figuring that you're okay and getting a correct diagnosis and getting it treated. That gray area is where people fall off the rails, become addicted, die. Like that okay, there might be something wrong here too. This is what's wrong and this is how you treat it and this is your follow-up care. Right? What a big difference. How I'm grateful that you got the diagnosis.
I mean, I don't know how they missed it because I finally, with full disclosure, like I had a suicide attempt about a year ago last summer. And, so many of the past times when that's happened or I've been seeing a psychiatrist it's, oh, you're depressed. You're just depressed. You have depression. Let's get you on meds for depression. Stay in therapy. I'm like, that's great. But I literally go from one week, I want to kill myself, the next week looking up how much it costs to buy multiple jet skis. So I don't even have multiple friends to ride jet skis with. But I'm just like, that sounds like a good use of my money. Just that like depression to mania and impulsivity. And it was just, they never explained. It was always dismissed. And so much of it felt like, get out the door. We have so many more people to talk to. Just get out. Here's your prescription, go.
I feel like it's either you're at the hospital and you have to be there and then they just load you up with meds and get you out, or it's a battle to get that diagnosis.
just to feel listened to is really what it was. It's like, it would be like I'd get like once it's done and I see someone and then it's like, okay, maybe it'll be different this time. And it's never different. It was just the same cycle repeating itself over and
Cycle
over.
over.
And it's just like, and I would tell them this and they're like, nah, it's just depression. I don't know, drink some water, here's some meds, go.
I take some mood stabilizers. Or do you take anything? Is it just a diet and exercise? How do you manage?
Oh no, I have meds that I'm level, and that's what I'm saying. I feel better than I have. I feel more stable than I have in a long time. Probably going back is like I can't really remember a period as like a teen to adult where I've not felt totally at the mercy, the whim of like whatever emotion my brain decides to prioritize.
That's actually really wonderful. That's
Yeah,
so encouraging because you're very well liked and you're very funny, and I would have never guessed any of
I wouldn't
this.
say well liked. I got haters.
Oh, we all
I
do.
got we all got people who are obsessively checking our social media, even though we have them blocked.
Nobody punches. They don't punch down. If people are clawing at you, they have to reach up to do it. Going through a hard time, like what would you say if they're going through the feelings that you're going through?
So one with a lot of comedians, it's like I've heard that the kind of rhetoric where it's like, I don't want to take meds. I'm depressed. I don't want to take meds. They'll stifle my creativity. I'm like, most of your jokes are Fitbit jerk off jokes. Like,
can't be creative when you're dead.
Yeah, exactly. Like it doesn't. It doesn't. I've obviously performing's been limited, but I've noticed in the last year that I've felt I've made big strides on stage, at least as a performer, and sort of my energy on stage. I'm more in control of it, and I feel much better. And I it had the meds didn't do anything but help. I felt more stable, and thus I was able to focus more on what I was doing. I'm lucky to be here, and it sounds melodramatic, but it's true. And even beyond that, I've had health issues beyond my mental health. I had an infection shortly before my first ever suicide attempt. I got really sick. I lost a kidney from an infection. I was in sick kids for months, and then I'm very lucky to be here. And it was now being like diagnosed, treated. I can look back and feel very grateful that I was too much of a chicken shit to fully end things. Literally, the last time I tried to commit suicide, I went a route I never really did. I did this. I tried to, this is harsh to hear. I'm sorry. Slash my wrists. Kind of forgetting I'm a total little baby when it comes to blood. So I blacked out after the first few cuts, and I blacked out. And that's like the most ironic ass thing I can think of is like, I didn't die because I can't handle the sight of blood. It's like a weird poetic intervention.
I'm very grateful that you are scared of blood, or that it would make
you pass. And I mean, I'm 5'7", like 200 pounds. It's a dense ball of meat. So me collapsing alerted my partner that there was a problem. Just a very loud thud is like hard to ignore.
Can you relate with this? Just because you're being very, very open, and I've sort of been open about my struggles. Did you hear about this COVID in the beginning? And you hear about underlying conditions, and it's taking people out, and risk categories and stuff. Did you think I didn't fucking crawl back from death to get taken out by some loser COVID virus from like touching my fucking face? I didn't survive all of this, and then because I didn't wipe down my groceries, I'm gonna die of an upper respiratory infection.
A lot of comedians just ready to fight over things they don't understand. Very surprised at how many comedians we probably all know had like these very backwards ass views on science. I was just like, how did this happen?
In all fairness, because you and we just have comedian friends. We've got a lot of comedy
Mm-hmm.
friends, right? In
Mm-hmm.
fairness, I found that with family, with coworkers, with just like it's sort of a divide everywhere. I
Yeah.
don't find it in particular with comedians. However, they're certainly a lot more entertaining with how they express their views on it.
Yeah, most of us have strong opinions on most things. That's just how we roll, right? It's sort of the
Yeah.
byproduct of going on stage. And said we're both very open, but how much of that is a byproduct of like we're open on stage? It's very easy to be open. Sometimes I'm open with people, and I have to stop myself and be like, this is probably too much for this person, and it doesn't even register with me because it's just like it's just blah.
I have a harder time opening up, and I
Mm,
have terrible stage fright. I don't just get up and blurt out stuff when I'm on stage. In fact, I will quite often give up my time. But being able to do the show or make videos, or this is like the introvert's playground right now because I can
mm-hmm.
say what I want to say and have an opinion and feel comfortable with it.
You don't have, you're not, it's not live in a way, you don't have that immediate feedback. You feel a little more secure. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've always, I mean, the cliche is comedians are just absolute disasters with their mental health. And it's a
Yeah,
cliche that's pretty much true across the board. The funny ones, at least.
I thought you remember the first green room you were ever in. I remember thinking like, oh, I'm gonna be with these people that are gonna be full of confidence. It's gonna be funny, and everybody's gonna be joking around. We're gonna have such a good time. I'm gonna network, and you got like some guy that just nailed it, like on stage, talking about oh that was terrible, and I'm gonna quit comedy
Yeah,
forever, and then it's
I'm
just
that
like,
person. I'm
are you?
never
But
happy.
I've been in green rooms, and I'm thinking these are like actually some pretty depressed. Like I would expect them to be. I was all excited. I was like, this is gonna be great. We're
Yeah.
gonna have some fun. I'm gonna make some friends.
You're like,
Like,
oh no, if
no,
they're
but
like me, shit.
yeah, but you guys are my people, like
Yeah.
through and through. Like I can't just like sit down and just chat with somebody about being bipolar or
Mm-hmm.
I haven't worn shorts in 15 years. I have cuts on my legs from like hip to ankle. I don't just commute. Like they get it. You guys get we're extreme.
Mm-hmm.
We're extreme that we would get on stage and talk about our lives, or
Mm-hmm.
that we would jump onto a podcast and give this information. What is the main advice that you give to somebody if they were to call you in crisis and it's your buddy and they're a comedian
Mm-hmm.
and they want to and you need to talk to them?
Oh, I want to first make sure they're safe. Obviously, that's a big thing. Make sure find out where they are in case things are going to get to that point. You want to just kind of establish like that info, like where they are, where they break it down, like what you would do in a hypothetical, because it's so much different when it happens, because there's so much more emotion that comes
Well, like,
up because there's
and people like you and I, we're more likely to go to an extreme. So I think
mm,
you're more likely to recognize what would be maybe an emergency situation. I've probably been checked in on more in the last 14 months than I was in my life prior to COVID. Oh, you're such a sweetheart. I love talking to you. I can't wait until I think it's going to be sooner than later. I
mm-hmm.
might be doing Comedian of the North live here
I
if
will
that's
come.
going to
I
be the
wasn't going to sign
case.
up for the online one. I'm not a fan. I did a few shows and I was like, I do not care for this. And
I would rather do it in person if I can,
yeah.
and I didn't have the technical confidence to be
Mm-hmm.
able to pull it off. It's like I had everything. I had the judges, I had the contestants, like I had everything
Nah.
set up. I even have the platform, the availability, I had the bandwidth.
Mm-hmm.
I was just I was so scared that I just wasn't going to be able to run it, or I'd have a sound issue or something would
Yeah.
happen and it would be a
It's a
technical.
big undertaking. Even just producing a show in person is a big undertaking. Because
Yeah.
like it's hard. I have my own business, and fingers crossed. I'm currently working on something that might be big. I can't talk about it yet, but it might be a Canada wide
Oh, I'm
thing that
excited to
might
hear
be
about it.
really great for the independent scene. Um,
Good.
but that's still in progress. But it's it's so hard and can be very thankless. So that's like I'm also I have once there's no restrictions, because it's a small. I'm going to start up an open mic here in Ottawa. I've fought against doing it. I didn't want to, but a friend has a business. It's like a restaurant, and they have an upstairs room. It's like perfect. He
If
came
you
to me.
build it, they will come.
Yeah, and I want to do something kind of like what this was. There was an article shared, but Rita Lopez wrote about Monday night. What is Monday Night Comedy in Calgary? That show that's like the longest running open mic in Canada. It's
Yeah.
had like huge names. So it's like that was just like I want to do something like that for Ottawa. I want to put on not the crappy open mic show with no audience. It's just comics watching, not paying attention.
Everybody wants to build the open mic.
I'm already established. I can pay my comics. I don't mind not making money on an open mic. I don't mind that. I will pay I will pay everyone on that show. It won't be the most money, but I'm going to pay them more than I'll pay more than what a comedy club in Ontario pays for an open. Not that that's hard to do. I could probably go through my couch cushions right now and find that money.
The pandemic sort of has separated the like the hobbyists from the diehards, and you're clearly a diehard. And I want to thank you very, very much for taking the time to talk to me today, and for talking about your mental health and sharing all of that. That's really vulnerable, and I appreciate it, and I can relate with you. And in fact, I feel like I owe you, like I know you a whole lot better right now.
Yeah, I mean, like, here's the thing: is look, when I did Comedian of the North in 2019, it was a big moment for me. I was a year into comedy. That was by far the biggest audience I'd done at the time. It was like 600, 700 people.
Yeah, it was 600. About 550. Oh yeah, that was the first one. So that was the sold out show.
I think it was the second one you did, because who was, I think Bobby was headlining, because he won the first one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that was the second one.
And he did really well that year too.
It was so much fun. And like, I flew to Thunder Bay, and I've now gone to Thunder Bay a lot for comedy, weirdly enough. It's the weirdest thing. But that moment,
come back. You're gonna.
I plan on it. But it was such a good moment for me, because like, I've never been in an audience in front of an audience that big, and I did really, really well. I know what hurt me, because I went a minute over, because I'm the worst at that. But it was kind of that first moment where it's like, oh, I think I can do this. Like, seriously do this, because making that many people laugh in what should have been 5 minutes.
Isn't that crazy? And that's why I did it. I wanted to put pro and ams together, right? Contests are stupid. There are people that get like there's an upset every single year, and it's just, and that's the way they are. And I will say this, like from running it, right? Like people say like, oh, it's rigged every year. It's rigged. I never rigged shit. Like, I don't know what's going on. I just
such a small potatoes thing to rig. No one. Not that sounds bad. It's not small potatoes, but it's like no one's going to rig this.
Well, it's not just that, but I mean, people wanted, it was a charity event. So I got like volunteer judges, and I knew not to do that the next year. So I go, you can't be in Thunder Bay and get professional judges and get people that don't know people that are going to be in the contest.
Yeah.
So, if people get upset, I understand that they're just working out their stuff.
Yeah.
I don't take it personally. It's not about me. Just like,
but I did learn, that was what I learned, is like, I will never be that person who is so not self-aware. That was like that moment where like, I'm never going to be that person. I'm never going to be like, I think that I'm the greatest. I'm going to strive to be self-aware, know when I didn't do well, know when I did well, and not be that person who's just confident, no matter how bad, just confident they're amazing, even when they do bad.
Well, you're good because you're a quick study, because you were good right off the hop. So definitely you'll be back out to Thunder Bay. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Mickey. Thanks for having me. It's a lot of fun.
Thank you. All right, we'll see you later.
See you later.